It is finally time to go ahead and hop back into the wild way to lucid dreaming. And so we'll pick up where we left off. We were already deep into the book, getting close towards the end. And this part of the book is titled Advanced Techniques. And the next section we'll be hopping into from this part of the book is titled Techniques for DILDs, or Dream Induced Lucid Dreams. And so a little bit of a side tangent here, but I think most of the people in this space actually refer to Dream Induced Lucid Dreams as DILDs, right? But it's always made me just kind of want to giggle in the back of my head because it sounds so damn close to dildo that, sometimes I just wouldn't really want to say it. But I was watching a video from Daniel Love a month or two ago, and I'm sure most of the people watching this video right now already know who Daniel Love is. He's an author and pretty big time in this space, but I was watching one of his videos and referred to Dream Induced Lucid Dreams as DILDs and not DILDs. And had this light bulb moment go off in my head. And I was like, wait a second, if we call wilds or wake initiated lucid dreams, right, wilds and not wilds, why would we be calling Dream Induced Lucid Dreams DILDs and not DILDs? So anyway, I like the way DILD sounds better. So moving forward, I'll be using that term. So when it comes to this section here, though, we're going to skip the vast majority of it because he doesn't cover any techniques for DILDs that, I haven't talked about millions of times on this channel, stuff like reality checks and things like that. What I did want to focus on is kind of towards the end where he points out how when you're having a DILD, it's pretty common for you not to be able to sense your real waking body asleep in bed, right? Although, at least for me, I can, if I want to really try and focus on it, I can start to sense that, but then it can be kind of sketchy because what it can do is be a good way to wake you up out of the dream if you start thinking about your real waking body. But yeah, for the most part, when I am in my lucid dreams, I try to forget. I want to sever ties to my real physical body and be like 100% committed in the experience or the dream that I'm having. But he points out how when he had a DILD, he thought he was dead. That's basically the point. So let's read what he wrote. I later experienced a spontaneous DILD and became awake right in the middle of a strange and rather disturbing dream. The shock and realization rocked me to my foundations. That part kind of surprised me, but I guess he's talking about like early on in his practice. So, for most people, when you do have a DILD, it's your first time, the shock of that and realizing you're in a dream, for most people, is going to cause you to wake up. So I understand where he's coming from. I'm just kind of surprised after so many, because by this point he was saying he was having wilds like basically every single night he was going to sleep. I'm surprised that, realizing that and getting lucid through a DILD would have surprised him that much. But anyway, the shock and realization rocked me to my foundations as it slowly dawned on me that I was dreaming. What scared me the most was the fact that I couldn't sense my sleeping body or the midway point. I haven't been posting regularly to this, but we talked about the whole midway point thing a bunch in, recent previous videos in this playlist. Or the midway point as usual, so I logically thought I was dead. I mean, that's just the first thing he jumped to, which I thought was kind of funny and interesting. A marked feature of DILDs is apparently the express lack of awareness of one's sleeping body and that of the midway point. One thing I can say, however, is that there is a distinct feeling of comfort from still being able to sense one's sleeping body and or the midway point. And so, yeah, I thought that was just kind of interesting. And, it can kind of be cool, like, being able to sense your real waking body when you're within the dream. But for the most part, as I said earlier, at least for me, I'm trying to get as far away from that as I can. And I want to be 100% committed to the experience that I'm in. Another thing is, too, I think when I am having my lucid dreams, at some point in that process, I will basically always sense my real sleeping body. Typically, as the dream's starting to break down, I'm getting closer to waking up and transitioning into hypnopompia. At some point in that process, if I look for it, I will absolutely be able to sense my real sleeping body. But yeah, I'm trying to avoid sensing that actually. So anyway, that is it. Until the next video, keep your lucid dreaming practice legit.